Hello, in this video I am going to talk about chapter 10, that is rhythmical excitation of the heart. Highlight these lines. The human heart has a special system for rhythmic self-excitation, repetitive contraction approximately 100,000 times each day or 3 billion times in the average human lifetime. Paragraph. This conductive system of the heart is susceptible to damage by heart disease, especially by ischemia of the heart tissue resulting from poor coronary blood flow. The effect is often a bizarre heart rhythm or abnormal sequence of contraction of the heart chambers, and the pumping effectiveness of the heart often is affected severely, even to the extent of causing death. The heading Sinoatrial nodal under the next heading, that is specialized excitatory and conducting system of the heart. Highlight sinoatrial node and highlight these last four lines. However, the sinus node connect directly with the atrial muscle fibers so that any action potential that begin in the sinus node spread immediately into the atrial muscle wall. Automatic electrical rhythmicity of a sinus fiber. Some cardiac fibers have the ability of the self-excitation, that is a process that can cause automatic rhythm discharge and contraction. This capability is especially true of the fibers of the heart specialized conducting system, including the fibers of the sinus node. About the mechanism in the slides, if you want to read it, you can read it for your understanding. Anything from the next page, just see mark this graph which was discussed in the class as well as in the slides page, and highlight the heading the atrioventricular node delay the impulse conduction from the atria to the ventricles. Highlight the atrial conducting system is organized so that the cardiac impulse does not travel from the atria into the ventricles too rapidly. This delay allows time for the atria to empty their blood into the ventricles before ventricular contraction begins. It is primarily the AV node and its adjacent conductive fibers that delay this transmission into the ventricles. The AV node is located in the posterior wall of the right atrium, immediately behind the tricuspid valve and the tricuspid valve. That the impulse after traveling through the internodal pathway reaches the AV node about 0.03 second after its origin in the sinus node. Then there is a delay of 0.09 second in the AV node before the impulse enters the penetrating portion of the AV bundle, where it passes into the ventricles. A final delay of another 0.04 second occurs mainly in this penetrating AV bundle, which is composed of multiple small fascicles passing through the fibrous tissue separating the atria from the ventricle. There's a total delay in the AV nodal and the AV bundle system is about 0.13 second. This delay, in addition to the initial conduction delay of 0.03 second from the sinus node to the AV node, make a total delay of 0.16 second before the excitatory signal finally reaches the contracting muscle of the ventricles. The cause of slow conduction in the transitional nodal and penetrating AV bundle is caused mainly by the diminished number of gap junctions between cells in the conducting pathway. So there is great resistance to conduction of excitatory ions from one conducting fiber to the next. Therefore, it is easy to see why its exciting cell is slow to be excited. Rapid transmission in the ventricle Purkinje system. One-way conduction through the AV bundle. We have also talked about this as well. Summary of the spread of cardiac impulse through the heart. The numbers on the figure represent the interval of time in the lapse between the origin of the cardiac pulse in the sinus node and its appearance at its respective point. Note that the impulse spread at moderate velocity to the atria but is delayed more than 0.1 second in the AV nodal region before impairing the ventricular septal AV bundle. Once it has entered this bundle, it spread very rapidly to the Purkinje fiber to the entire endocardial surface of the ventricle. Then the impulse once again spread slightly less rapidly to the ventricular muscle to the epicardial surface. Highlight till here. Sinus node is a normal pacemaker of the heart. Noted that the impulse normally arises in the sinus node. In some abnormal condition, this is not the case. Other parts of the heart can also exhibit intrinsic rhythmic excitation the same way the sinus nodal fiber do. This capability is particularly true for the AV node and Purkinje fiber. The AV nodal fiber, when not stimulated from some outside source, discharge at a rate of 40 to 60 times per minute, and the Purkinje discharge at 15 to 40 times per minute. The rates are in contrast to the normal rate of sinus node of 70 to 80 times per minute. Why then does the sinus node and the AV node or the Purkinje fiber control the heart? The answer derived from the fact that the discharge rate of sinus is considerably faster than the natural excitatory discharge rate of either the AV node or the Purkinje fiber. Each time the sinus node discharges, its impulse is conducted into AV node and Purkinje fiber, also discharging their membranes. However, the sinus node discharge again before either the AV node or the Purkinje fiber can reach their own threshold for self-excitation. Therefore, the new impulse from the sinus node discharge both the AV node and the Purkinje fiber before self-excitation can occur in either of these sides. The sinus node controls the beat of the heart because its rate of discharge is faster than that of the AV node or the other part of the heart. Therefore, the sinus node is almost always the pacemaker of the normal heart. Abnormal pacemaker is an ectopic pacemaker. Occasionally, some other part of the heart develop a discharge rate that is more rapid than that of the sinus node. For instance, this development sometimes occur in the AV node or in the Purkinje fiber when one of these become abnormal. In either case, the pacemaker of the heart shift from the sinus node to the AV node or to the Purkinje fiber. Under rare condition, a place in the atrioventricular muscle develop excitability and become the pacemaker. A pacemaker elsewhere in the sinus node is called an ectopic pacemaker. An ectopic pacemaker causes an abnormal sequence of contraction of different part of the heart and can cause significant debility of the heart pumping. Highlight the parasympathetic or vagal stimulation slow the cardiac rhythm. Stimulation of the parasympathetic nerve vagus causes the hormone acetylcholine to be released at the vagal endings. This hormone has two major effects. It decreases the rate of rhythm, and second, it decreases the excitability of the AV junctional fibers between the atrial musculature and the AV node. They have a slowing transmission of the cardiac impulse. Weak to moderate vagal stimulation slow the rate of heart pumping, often to as little as one half normal. Further strong stimulation of the vagus can stop completely the excitation of the sinus node, completely transmission of cardiac impulse from atria to ventricle to the AV node. Highlight till here. Essentially the opposite effect of the heart to those caused by vagal stimulation. It increases the rate of discharge, second it increases the rate of conduction, as well as the level of excitability all portion of the heart. Mechanism of sympathetic effect. Stimulation of the sympathetic nerve release the hormone norepinephrine at the sympathetic nerve ending. Norepinephrine in turn stimulate beta 1 receptor which mediate the effect on heart rate. So this was all about chapter 10. Highlight all the text which I have spoken in the video. Integrate this with the slides and the discussion we had in the class. Thank you for listening.